Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be getting started in just a moment, but in the meantime, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and if you know what program you're interested in studying. We'll be getting started shortly. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining today. This is the Edinburgh Business School How to Enroll webinar. My name is Kristell. I'm one of the enrollment advisors here at Heriot-Watt. I am joined by my colleague Vari. She'll be in the chat, so if you have questions, she might be answering you too. So before we get started, I just want to do a quick sound check. You should be able to hear me right now. If you're not able to and you're on a web browser on your computer, please try refreshing the page. That usually fixes things. Also, ensure that your speakers are switched on and connected to Microsoft Teams. If you're still having trouble though, please pop a message in the Q&A box and we can help. All right, so a brief overview of what I'll be talking about during this webinar. I'll give an introduction to online learning with Edinburgh Business School, talk a little bit about why you should choose Heriot-Watt, give an overview of our outline portfolio, as well as talking about the entry requirements and how to enroll. At the end, there'll be time for a Q&A. So if you do have questions, I recommend holding on to them until we get to this section, but you are welcome to type them in as we go along as well. So why study online? At Heriot-Watt, we recognize that there is a need for professionals to develop their knowledge and skills alongside work and other commitments. Studying a postgraduate degree through online learning allows you to obtain new knowledge and update existing skills and apply them to your workplace in real time, as well as expand your professional network. Integrating your study with full-time employment, your new skills and knowledge can immediately benefit yourself and your organization. So why choose Heriot-Watt? We have over 25 years of experience of delivering distance learning, and we are a highly reputable university. We're ranked 32nd in the UK and 235th worldwide. We also do have excellent employment prospects. So we're first in Scotland and fourth in the UK for graduate employability. Over 80% of our graduates are in full-time employment or further study after 15 months after graduation. Also, we're very international university. There's over 20,000 graduates in 160 countries worldwide, so you'll be making lots of connections as well. So some of you may already know which courses you're interested in pursuing, which programs you want to get your degree in, but if you're not quite sure yet, here's an overview of what our online portfolio is. We have a general Master of Business Administration, but we do also have specialisms if you're interested in them. The specialisms include business analytics, business psychology, finance, logistics and supply chain management, professional practice, and strategy. In addition to our MBAs, we also have some MSCs, so a Master of Science in Business and Organizational Psychology, Business Analytics, Supply Chain Management and Logistics, as well as Financial Management. So there's lots of different courses available. If you think you're interested in the MBA, but you're not quite sure yet, we do have the MBA Essentials program as well. This is a postgraduate certificate where it's a building block for a full MBA. So you'll be able to sample some of the courses without having to fully invest yourself in the full MBA. But I can definitely talk about that more if anybody has any questions about it. So how does online learning work? As an online student, you gain the same qualification and degree certificate as an on-campus student. It looks exactly the same. The academic standard is exactly the same as on-campus learning, and all students undertake the same or equivalent coursework and assessments. Online students enjoy the same support services as on-campus students. However, there are fundamental differences between studying online and on-campus. For example, the level of flexibility as well as the teaching modes can differ between the two formats. All right, so let's say you've looked at all of the Edinburgh Business School's courses, you know which one you're interested in applying for, you think that online learning is the way to go. You may now be wondering, what are the entry requirements? So typically you will hold a recognized first or second class honors degree or equivalent international or professional qualification. If your native language is not English or you haven't done an undergrad degree in the English language before, you will be asked to provide evidence of your English language proficiency, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But at Edinburgh Business School, we are proud to make transformative education accessible to diverse communities and individuals across the world. Therefore, we offer a performance-based admissions pathway onto our MSc and MBA programs. So even if you don't have an undergrad degree or evidence of English language, you can still join us using the performance-based pathway where you'll just need to pass one of the core courses before you're fully enrolled in the program. So what does this mean? No matter your pathway to entry, so either the direct academic or through performance-based admission, there is no need to complete an application form before enrolling. So a little bit more information about the English language proficiency. We have a few different tests listed on the screen that we can accept, as well as some other options. So if getting these tests is proving a bit challenging for you, don't worry, we do have other options that we may be able to consider. For example, if your previous studies was completed in English, with English as the language of instruction, we may be able to accept a letter from your university stating that. Or if your current job is English or conducted in English, a letter from your HR department might be something we can also consider. If you're not quite sure, don't worry, you can message us. We can look into your individual circumstances and let you know what options are available to you. But hopefully this gives you a bit of an overview and knowledge that there are some options available to you. Okay, so you've gathered all your documents and you're ready to enroll. It is an extremely straightforward process, so I'll walk you through the steps of the enrollment. First thing, head to your chosen program page on our website, which is hw.ac.uk/online, and then click on the Enroll Now button. There's a few different places where the Enroll Now button is, but you can always find it at the top of your screen. Then just follow the instructions, enter your personal details, and I would also recommend on this page making sure that at the very top, the program that you're interested in is the one that's listed. Just double check everything. After you enter your personal details, you'll select your courses that you want to register for at this time. This could be all of the courses, or it could be one or two of them. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. You'll just make your selection here. And then you'll be directed to make your initial payment for the courses that you've selected. Upon completion of those steps, our student engagement team will reach out to guide you through the subsequent steps. So this can include asking you for proof of your undergraduate degree in English language if you're going through the direct entry. So just keep an eye on your email for outreach from them. And that will enable you to commence your studies promptly without having to await a fixed intake or undergo an application review. So you don't have to wait until a particular time to start your studies. It's a very quick process. Usually within a few business days, you'll be able to start your studies. All right, so I did just want to let you know about the funding and scholarships. We do get this question quite often. So students on our online Edinburgh Business School programs can benefit from a 20% fee reduction if they purchase all their courses up front for the program of their choice. So this doesn't apply to PG certificates, PG diplomas, or the DBA programs, but if you're interested in doing one of our MBAs or the MSCs, if you purchase all the courses up front, you are eligible for a 20% discount. And our scholarships can be found on our website. Every year, Edinburgh Business School does make available a number of scholarships to help students achieve one of our awards. So for example, right now we have the Emerging Economy Scholarship that is based on the country of your residence. So if you are living in a country that is eligible for one of the Emerging Economy Scholarships, it would be automatically applied when you're filling in your personal details. If you're not sure if you're eligible for it, don't worry. You can go onto the program page of the program of your choice, scroll down to the fees and funding section, and then you'll be able to input your country and it will tell you what the options are available for you. So you can definitely take a look at that as well. All right. So those were the information I wanted to pass along. And now I want to open it up to questions for you. So please feel free to type in any questions you might have. But if you have questions that come up after the webinar, or if there's something that's very specific to you that you'd like to go into more detail about and aren't really comfortable talking about it in the chat, don't worry. You can always reach out to the enrollment team. Our email address is hwonlineapps@hw.ac.uk, and we'd be happy to help you. So I'll give people a moment to type in their questions, and we'll do my best to answer them or direct you as need be. All right, so it looks like we've got a couple people introducing themselves, so wonderful. Hi, Ramya. Hi, Claire. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found the information useful. Okay, I'm getting a question about what do I mean by courses? Is it the modules within a specific qualification? So yes, that is exactly what I mean. So for example, let's say the MBA program, if you're registering for that, the MBA is made up of 9 courses or 9 modules. And so you'd need to pass each of these courses to be able to qualify for the MBA and complete your degree. So it's just the verbiage there. So when you're registering for a course, it is a module, absolutely. Excuse me. All right, getting a question about asking to learn more about the MBA Essentials program. So absolutely. So we do have a number of students who are interested in pursuing an MBA, but they may not quite know if they want the full degree yet, but they want the basics and they want to have the knowledge that they can bring to their workplace. So the MBA Essentials is a postgraduate certificate program where we took 3 of the core courses that's required for the MBA programs, either the general one or the ones of specialisms, and we've curated them into this MBA Essentials program. So it's just 3 of the core courses, and we find that these are, so it lays the building blocks and the foundation to a full MBA. So if you're a bit hesitant about doing the full MBA, this might be a good option for you. So you can have an understanding and get the general foundations down before moving on to the full MBA. Our degrees are fully stackable, so excuse me, if after completing the 3 courses of the MBA Essentials, you decided, yes, I want to complete the full MBA, you are able to register for the next courses, and then you don't have to start from the beginning. You just have 6 courses remaining. So you've already done 3 out of the 9. You'll be able to do the other 6 afterwards to get the full MBA. Okay, we're getting a question from Betty, who's asking about sponsorship at the beginning of the course and what the assessments are like. Absolutely, great questions, Betty. So in terms of sponsorship, I believe you're asking about if your employer or another organization is looking to sponsor your studies, which is definitely an option. If that is something that is the case for you, I would recommend emailing us at hwonlineapps@hw.ac.uk, and our team can put you in touch with our colleague who does work with students who are in that situation. So if your sponsor needs an invoice, this is something that they can help provide. So definitely send us an email and we can look into that for you and put you in touch with our colleague. Okay, question about the assessments, how they're structured. Okay, so I'm going to use the MBA as an example again. All of your grades are based on the final online assessment that's at the end of each of the courses. So you'll be taking 9 final online assessments because there will be 9 courses. all of your grade is based on that, and it is a written assessment. So the exact makeup differs based on the content of your course, but it tends to be a mixture of case studies, scenarios, and essays. And you'll be able to have access to the student portal, to the virtual learning environment, the internet, everything you need during the assessment date. You'll be able to have access to it. It is an open book exam. But just keep in mind that there are 3 assessment diets per year, and we aren't able to be flexible on the date. So on that day, just make sure that you have access to the internet. You will have a 24-hour window in which you can complete this assessment, so you don't have to be at your desk at 10 a.m. UK time. You can choose the time that works for you to download, write, and then submit your assessment. Just make sure you submit it within that 24-hour window. And there are, like I said, 3 assessment diets. There's one in December, one in April, May, and one in July, August. And when you register for a course, you'll be automatically enrolled in the assessment diet that's at least 3 months in the future. But if that date doesn't work for you, you can push it to the future. So if December is a really busy time with work, you have a lot of deadlines, you are able to amend that so that you'll be taking it in the April-May one, for example. You will have checkpoint quizzes throughout the course, but that is just for your knowledge and to check your understanding. You're not being graded on that. That doesn't count towards your final mark. So if you see that in the modules, don't be worried about it. It is just to check your own knowledge. There isn't any group work, although you will be able to connect with your classmates through the discussion forums on each of the courses. All right, and I'm getting a question about after you register, how long do you have to qualify? So I think this is asking about how long it takes to complete the degree, how long you have. So the majority of our students complete their degree, so like the full MBA or the MSc, in about 3 years, but it is a self-paced program, so it is ultimately up to you how long it takes to complete the degree. Theoretically, the degree can be completed in a year, or approximately a year. It does depend on some of the courses. Some of the courses do require you to finish some of the other modules ahead of time before you're able to do it. So it might be more like a year and a half. But theoretically, you can do up to 3 assessments per assessment period. So we don't recommend doing that if you have other work or personal responsibilities, since things can get very hectic, but it is a possibility. But if you take 2 or 1 assessments per assessment diet, that's usually a bit easier to manage. But back to your question, apologies. Most students take about 3 years, but it can be 1 year, or you do have up to 8 years. So we recognize that life can be hectic. You never know what's coming. Things might come up that are unexpected. So we do have this level of flexibility for you. So you do have up to 8 years to finish the degree. One thing to keep in mind, once you start a particular course, so one of those 9 courses, you have 2 years to complete it. So while you have 8 years to complete the full degree, just keep in mind that once you start a particular course, you must complete it within 2 years. I hope that answers your question, but if not, just let me know. All right, now we're getting a question about eligibility for the fee discount. Does that include paying in installments? So there are 2 different ways that you can pay. You can either pay course by course and spread out your payments that way. So you can pay for the one course that you're registering for, you finish it, and then you register for another course, and then you just pay for that one. Or if you're able to purchase all the courses up front, that is when you're eligible for the fee discount. So it wouldn't be for the installments or for the spread out payments, it would only be for the full upfront purchase. But just a quick note in terms of the Emerging Economy Scholarship, that one you would still have the price available to you if the scholarship is still available. So even if you're purchasing the courses course by course, you would still have access to that scholarship. Okay, getting a question about what countries are eligible for the Emerging Economy Scholarship. So my colleague Vari posted the fees page on the chat, so you are welcome to use that as a link. Additionally, if you go to the program page and you scroll down to that fees and funding section, you are able to put in the country that you are residing in, and it'll be able to check for you if the scholarship is available. And just in case I didn't mention it, this is an automatic scholarship. It's not one that you need to apply for. You'll just need to put in your details, and then the system will know if you're living in an eligible country. And just to be clear, it is based on the country you're living in, not your citizenship. All right, we're getting a question about if the Emerging Economy Scholarship and the upfront discount can be combined. And yes, they absolutely can be combined. The only thing that can't be combined is if you happen to be an alumni of Heriot-Watt already, that can't be combined with the upfront discount. So the Emerging Economy Scholarship can be combined with the upfront discount, but the alumni discount can't be combined with the upfront discount. You can only have one discount, but you can combine a discount with a scholarship. I hope that was clear. All right. Yes, absolutely. If anybody would like to discuss your situation further, please email us. We're happy to go into more detail about that, talk about your situation in particular. We can have you sign up for a call, or if you'd rather email us, that's also fine, but we can absolutely discuss your situation offline. Okay, we're getting a question about, are there research works or projects for MBA specialism programs? So for the majority of the specialisms, everything is just a taught course. So with the purchase of a course, you'll have access to the online library, to the readings, to the videos that are there, to the discussion forums. But it is a taught course where you'll be following the material that we provide. The only one that's a little bit of a outlier is the specialism for professional practice. So that one, you'll have a course where you will be tackling a real world business problem, either in your own workplace or your potential workplace in the future. But this will be a chance for you to really dig in and kind of get an idea about how you can apply your learnings from the other courses to the real world. So this is the only one that's a little bit different. Otherwise, the courses, you can take them in whatever order you want to, with the exception of if you're doing the performance-based admission pathway, where you'll need to take one of the core courses first to be able to fully enroll in the program. But otherwise, they're all taught, with the exception of that professional practice has one course that is a little bit different. And a question about how can I book a call with you? So Vari has posted the link in the chat, so you can follow that. Otherwise, you can also email us and we can send you the link directly if you're having trouble finding it. Alternatively, you're also very welcome to send us your questions online or through email. All right, getting a question about the performance-based admissions route. Can I do 2 courses for a start instead of just one because you want to save time? So yes, you can do that. As I mentioned before, you are able to do up to 3 assessments per assessment diet. So you can absolutely do that. But as I mentioned before, also, we don't recommend doing more than 2 at a time because it can get very hectic. And if you are, I guess one thing to keep in mind is the dates that the assessments take place. So we aren't able to be flexible on them, and there is a chance that the dates would be on the same, the assessments would be on the same date, and we definitely don't recommend that. That would be incredibly hectic. So just keep that in mind when you're registering for the courses and see which ones you want to register for. But yes, the answer to your question is you can absolutely do more than one course through the performance-based admissions route as well. Just you'll have to register for the 2 courses when you're going through the enrollment process. Okay. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. So I want to thank everybody again for joining today. As I've been mentioning, if any other questions come up after this webinar has ended or a thought pops up that you just aren't sure about it, or if there's something I can help clarify, please reach out to us. Our email address is on the screen. It's hwonlineapps@hw.ac.uk, and we'd be happy to help you. I'm showing here our other handles, other ways to get in touch with us, but thank you so much for joining us. I hope you found that useful, and we're looking forward to seeing you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.